Good day and welcome to another edition of One-on-One with Swope Health. I am your host, Eric Wesson. Thanks so much for joining us today. Listen, let me tell you all something. I have interviewed a lot of people. Barack Obama, Michelle Obama. I've done Oprah Winfrey. I have done Stevie Wonder. And I have done, who else is in that? Bill Cosby. But no guest have I ever done that it was so hard to schedule other than our guest today. Our guest today is none other than Kansas City, Kansas Mayor Christal Watson. Christal, thanks so much for joining us.
I'm so glad to be here.
We've been trying to do this ever since she got elected.
I know. Every day you selected was an issue. But we did it.
We finally got here.
Yes.
And I called her.
It's going to be the best interview ever.
And I called her this morning and she said, I'm on my way. But she had answered the phone and I said, praise the Lord.
Okay.
So thanks for joining us, Christal.
Yes, sir.
So tell us, where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to school? Tell us the Christal behind the elected official.
Well, you know, I'm just a little old girl from Kansas. Grew up in Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas. I was born at KU Medical Center, which is now the University of Kansas Medical Center. And graduated from Wyandotte High School. So I'm a bulldog. Many bulldogs out there. Always have to do that. Sorry.
Okay.
Got married, have 4 sons. They all live here in the metropolitan area. Got 2 grandkids, and I'm just happy. Born. Not only was I raised in Wyandotte County, we've lived the majority of our life in Wyandotte County, as well as we spent a little time in Missouri, maybe, but not. No, we never lived there. Well, when I was a little girl, we lived there, but then moved to KCK and been there ever since. But we're only there for like a year, I think, or 2. But I raised my sons here in KCK public schools and in Bonner. And we've had a very beautiful, fulfilling life. Was raised at 8th Street Baptist Church.
Okay, now.
Former Reverend I.H. Henderson Sr., who was the pastor. And now I belong to Evangelistic Center under Bishop Jack Vaughn and Carolyn Vaughn.
Okay. 4 boys, that must have been interesting. And
never a dull moment with 4 boys.
What are they? How far are they apart in age?
So the oldest is 42.
Get out of here. You do not have a 42-year-old.
I do. And then 35, 30, and 25.
So 10, 7 years apart, and 5 years apart.
Yes. I'm glad you can do the math.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to Emporia State University and went there, but with 4 kids, it was really, well, I hadn't married yet, but left there. There were some big educational cuts. That was under Reagan. And so I had to come home and went to work. And then I didn't go back to school until I was in my 40s. And then I went to Ashford University. And I went online. It was so crazy, too, because at that time, I'm like, oh, nobody's going to accept this online degree. And now, look at it.
Right.
You can, you know, COVID hit, and hey, that's all you could do was an online degree. So, but graduated from there, magna cum laude, summa cum laude, because I received my bachelor's and my master's. One in organizational leadership and the other in healthcare administration. Because at the time I thought I wanted to, you know, pursue, you know, the health industry, which I still have a heart for.
So when you were growing up and did you ride the school bus to school?
I sure did.
So when you were standing on the bus stop, did you ever think that 20, 30 years from now, you'll be the mayor of the city that you grew up in?
Absolutely not. No, I never did. I never thought that in a million years growing up. in KCK. But I did believe that I was destined for something. I really do believe that. I remember, because I'm a very strong person of faith, and I remember I think I was in my teens, 13, maybe 14. And I remember I was laying in the bed, and I remember I had this vision, and Jesus was floating towards me, and this key unlocked my heart, and my heart opened up, and he floated in. And I remember feeling like, wow, like something great is going to happen because I had this vision. And, you know, when I went to corporate America, I remember, because I worked at Sprint for 17 years. And I remember in a training class, because they used to have what they call the University of Excellence. And so I probably tried to go through every training I could possibly go through. But I remember they asked, one of the classes, they asked us to write your mission statement. And I was like, okay. And I wrote my own. And my mission in life was to be in a position of influence so that I could be a voice for those who don't have a voice. And when I set that mission statement, I thought, man, I'm probably going to do something really big with that. But not knowing it would be the mayor. But I think I've always had this sense that I'm going to do something great.
And so here you are.
And here I am.
Here you are. And that's just a blessing to I want to kind of get a background so people know your journey. You started the Heartland Black Chamber. You worked for Mayor before Garner.
Yeah.
You did some
David
wonderful
Albee, former Mayor David Albee.
Yes. So you've done quite a bit. So now the spotlight is on you. Do you imagine that the spotlight was going to be as intense as it is today?
You know, I'm not surprised by it because I've always been in the spotlight, whether I wanted to be in it or not. I mean, literally, it's like, no, you do it. You go out there, you do it. You're good at that, you know, because I don't know, I guess I'm not afraid to put myself out there. I think I never have been. I think in these kind of roles, you have to be very courageous because the spotlight is on you. You have to be held accountable for your actions, and you have to be willing to carry the ball. So all my sons played sports, whether it was football or basketball. And the oldest played football, the youngest played basketball. And it's just like when the point guard has the ball, and you always want the point to have the ball at the end if it's seconds before the shot, right? And the point guard has got to have that courage and that confidence to be responsible for whether or not he makes it or not, right? Makes that shot or not. And I feel like in this role, it's the same way, but it's like every day. I'm carrying the ball, and I've always got to be okay with whatever decisions is made, and it's okay with me because I'm confident in myself. I'm courageous enough to handle it, and I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your vision, and this is probably one of the $1 million questions that people want to know. So you laid out an economic agenda. You ran on a platform. How much has the stadium issue and the Chiefs gotten you off of that path that you set out to do to economic development, housing, healthcare, all the things that you laid out? Has this really gotten you off track, or are you still focused on those areas?
I think off track is not the word. I would say delayed.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of politics involved, and not in always a bad way. You know, people think politics is a dirty word, but it's not. It's the people who make it dirty. Let's get it understood. Because there's politics in everything.
Right.
Even in your household, there's politics,
Absolutely.
right? So I feel like the Chiefs just kind of delayed whatever initial 100-day plan I had because I had to move very quickly, building relationships. understanding the lay of the land, understanding the star bond bill, and then working with the commissioners you got 3 new commissioners on the Wyandotte County Commissioner Board in KCK. And because of that, we've got to get up to speed together, right? And we've got to build this unity as much as possible in the midst of being thrown into the frying pan with dealing with the biggest deal in the century, right?
Right.
With the #1 team in the world. So it has delayed it, but I don't think that it's taken us off track. If there was anything that has taken us off track is because of the delay. We're just trying to get better at the office and how we function as a mayoral team and how we function with the commissioners and the staff at Unified Government.
And I think one other thing that you had, I think you have a heart for people and your constituents, because in talking to people there, it's like, what do we do about the taxes? And I hope they don't have to raise our property taxes. Right. And I think that's where you'll dig your heels in and fight to make sure that people don't have an increase in property taxes, because we all pay way too much in property taxes, whether you live in Missouri or Kansas. So I've always kind of deemed you as the person to have the heart for the people.
I absolutely do. Like, people are my pride and joy, really. People don't realize, and they was like, aren't you tired? And I'm like, if I'm tired, it's the mentalness of dealing with some of the issues. But I'm never tired of the people, or going to see the people, or visiting with them, or making time to meet with people, because they actually energize me. It's really kind of strange. I could be down, and then as soon as I'm in a group of people, I come to life like the Energizer Bunny. And that really is the case for me. So making sure that we protect our community as much as possible, that we can maintain where we are in taxes and not raise them, is a high priority. Because I live here too, and I don't like paying the taxes. And I don't know why people would think that I would want to raise them, and still pay it. Like, I don't make a whole lot of money. I'm not a millionaire where the taxes don't bother me. And even still, millionaires try to do everything they can not to pay taxes. So you would think that would be all the more reason. But I cared so deeply. And mostly because I want my grandbabies to stay right here. They live 7 minutes from me.
Okay.
I want my grandbabies to never leave, right? I want to be able to go see them and spend time with them. And because I grew up with my grandparents, and, they enriched my life. And I want to be able to have that same enrichment relationship with my grandkids, let alone my own children, my sons.
So what about the school board and the school district that you have over there? Have you established a good relationship with that network as well?
Oh, absolutely. I came from a school district.
Right.
Remember, I ran years ago as a school board member and won.
Right.
And served 1 term. So I have very good relationships with the school district. I'm very proud of my relationships, and I'm building those in other districts as well. So and I'm really happy about that too.
That's good. So priority-wise, what's delayed, but what's on your plate to kind of make Kansas? I was over in Kansas delivering papers a couple of weeks ago, and it's a project on, I want to say, that's 5th Street. 6th Street, it's a big development project, building going on over there. What's that?
On 6th Street.
I want to say between Minnesota and State, or on one of those streets.
The college campus, Kansas City, Kansas Community College.
Oh, that's what's over there?
That is what's over there. How could you not see that building?
I saw the building.
Oh, you didn't go around. You didn't drive around the front.
Right,
It's the college campus, beautiful building. I think they have a partnership with Swope Health, and that's also in that building, as well as Community America Credit Union. I think they have some services that'll come out of there as well. But it's a really big deal, and it's looking really good over there.
It does look real good.
It looks really good. The biggest priority for me right now is kind of twofold. So when I ran, my platform was on people, policy, process, and policy. And within it are these 4 areas that are my priorities, which is infrastructure, it's workforce, business development, it is housing, and then community. And under community, of course, is education, is healthcare, crime, and transportation.
Okay.
So right now, the biggest thing is just the development projects and infrastructure. But at the top of that list is just being a good fiscal steward over the budget. There was a lot of conversation when I was on the campaign that we didn't have a budget problem, we had a spending problem. And I would almost agree with that. It's really, how are we spending our dollars, and how do we be transparent with how we spend our dollars? But I'm also recognizing that there are other taxing entities that play into this as well, because the colleges have a taxing entity as well as the school districts. And so we've got to eventually figure out how we work together, how we strategize for the future, and how we take turns in understanding, what funding we need to spend to meet the needs of the people. And at the end of the day, all our taxing entities want to do that. But I don't think we have been really unified in that effort where we're being more strategic. And so eventually we'll get there. That's not been at the top of the list currently because of the Chiefs. And now we got the World Cup.
Okay.
And dealing with the World Cup. So, again, it's just delayed, but we're still on track. It's still on our radar to be very cognizant of how we spend our dollars. Our budget season will be coming up very soon, and our team is already in conversations and laying the groundwork for us to be successful through that process, but very methodical and strategic.
So in the stadium aspect of things, you have a process with the community benefits agreement. Will you be able to navigate and get some of those benefits to help with some of the short-term goals that you have? One of the interesting things I always say about Kansas is you don't have a homeless shelter. So you have people on the street. You're going to have a $3 billion stadium, but no homeless shelter. So can you intertwine and get some kind of funding or
correction.
something? Okay, go ahead.
It won't necessarily be a shelter, but we are working on an unhoused project.
Okay, what's that look like?
So what that looks like is currently we have the Willa Gill Center. And the Willa Gill Center is currently located where the college campus is going up downtown.
Okay.
And so we're looking at creating a more comprehensive plan in how we deal with the unhoused. And that could include some housing, depending on the location. So we're currently in the process of reviewing sites to move Willa Gill to a site that is conducive to a more holistic approach in handling our unhoused, which could include some housing.
Okay.
So it doesn't necessarily become a shelter.
Okay.
But it'll be some form of housing, hopefully, that will provide shelter for the unhoused until they find permanent residency.
Okay. So
while they get the services they need.
While they get the services they need. And I thank you for correcting me on that, because I guess the politically correct term now is unhoused.
Is unhoused.
Versus homeless.
But I would never correct you, because you typically are right 99.9% of the time. But in this
thank
case,
you. Did y'all hear that?
But they call it unhoused now.
Okay.
And you're right. We don't have a homeless shelter. You're absolutely correct.
And so we have people from Kansas that have to navigate over to Missouri and have the same issues over there. But is there a way for you to put that in the community benefits, job programs, workforce development? Those things will be in the community
Absolutely.
benefit.
Anything is possible.
Okay.
Right? Now, if you're speaking specifically about the Chiefs community benefits agreement,
Okay, well,
that is separate because, and it's not to say that any of that couldn't be involved. This is what I would like to say.
okay.
That the development agreement it'll be a development agreement between the state and the Chiefs, okay? Because the state creates this quasi entity, right? That is focused on the facility, okay? The Chiefs will hire their own developer, right, to build out the stadium.
Read the fine print.
We can provide some input as to what the community benefit can be.
Okay.
I do know that the state is looking at that community benefit for the entire state of Kansas, okay? Because you have other rural communities that are close to the stadium, right, within 50 miles that are going to be traveling to those games, you know, that want to participate and be involved, especially since their tax dollars is being involved in this as well, right?
Okay.
So I truly believe that our community benefit doesn't always have to be part of the standard agreement. It's really about how we build relationships with the state and with the Chiefs for that matter. Because I do know that the Chiefs have been very philanthropic through the years in Jackson County. And it might be the teams, it might be the players. You've seen the Chiefs present, you know, in a very philanthropic way. And I think it'll be part of my role and the commissioners and others to continue to build relationships with the Chiefs so that we can continue to see some type of community benefit regardless of what it is. Right now, it's really going to be a matter of what are their interests and how can we work together to meet the interests and needs of our community so that we can show that there's a real partnership. Because I want to have a partnership with the Chiefs. You know, I got a Chiefs sign sitting outside my door, and, you know, our family is very faithful and supportive of the Chiefs, you know, watching them, buying, you know, apparel and all that good stuff. So we want to see the Chiefs be successful. The commission board wants to see them successful. And that community benefit agreement is going to be essential. Now, when we talk about development projects outside of the Chiefs, of course, the CBA is always included, which is the community benefits agreement.
Do you have one with Buc-ee's?
And, you know, I'm not sure. That's a very good question.
Because that was pretty much started before you
It
came on
was.
board.
Man, Buc-ee's haven't even been on my radar. But I'm sure Buc-ee's, you know, I hear some wonderful things about Buc-ee's.
Oh, my goodness. You've never been to one?
I've never been to a Buc-ee's.
Oh, my goodness. They are off the chain, let me tell you. We drove down to the one in Springfield a couple of months ago. They have a beef sandwich that is completely off the chain.
Really?
Yeah. And people are, it's a shopping center right there in a gas station. It's unbelievable.
You know, they're building like 120, I want to say, gas stations. Don't hold me to it, but I know there's 100.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who? No
a
way.
Gas station.
There's no way 100 cars will be coming.
And they have all these gas pumps, but it's a real good experience for people.
That's what they say.
You know, it's fun.
I've heard it's like Cracker Barrel on steroids.
Yes, yes.
Like, seriously.
Yes.
And I used to love me some Cracker Barrel now.
And let me tell you, you hear a lot of promotion about them. Their bathrooms are immaculate.
That's what I hear. I've heard more about the bathrooms than I've heard about Hey, gas stations out there, fix your bathrooms.
Hey, whatever their model is for the bathrooms needs to be completed
replicated across America.
Everywhere. Listen.
I've heard wonderful things about the bathrooms, the shopping experience, as well as the gas service. Like,
yes.
They really got it going on. So if they're that conscientious about their customers, I can't imagine they wouldn't be a great partner in serving the community. So I'm not even worried about Buc-ee's. Come on, Buc-ee's. Let's get it on.
Yeah, it's a good experience. And that'll bring some foot traffic to
they will.
To there. Or not foot traffic, but just traffic to the area. Because we'll drive over there just to get the beef sandwiches.
Come on,
I'm telling
Kansas.
you, them barbecue beef sandwiches. I almost turned around and came back down to Springfield just to get another one.
Are you serious?
Yes, and I ate two while we were there.
Okay, we don't want to tell everybody that story.
I don't know what they put in those beef sandwiches, but they were delicious. But it was a good experience. And
but we are going to be conscientious about jobs and, construction jobs and, making sure labor is included. And, we'll be paying attention to all of that. And I'm just very optimistic we'll be able to work through and get some community benefits. I know that will be helpful for our community.
So as we wrap up, you had mentioned your first 180 days. Have you delayed that? When is your first 180 days?
We are rolling through it. Okay. We really are. It's just not at this is what I have learned, which I knew this going in, but I was like, dog, I wish I could do it faster. It's a marathon and not a sprint. In government. And I knew that, but I'm really going to have to just pace it a little differently. And I don't know, just really think more intuitively about how we work through every situation that comes in the mayor's office. Still on course. Just pace it a little bit differently and a little slower, because it is not going to go at the pace we really want it to.
So has it sunk in yet?
Yeah, it sunk in.
It sunk in?
It sunk in because I knew if I ever went back to the mayor's office, I was going to be mayor.
Really?
I did.
Really?
Yep, I did. I knew that. And I'm there, and I'm ready, and I'm up for the challenge, and I've got an excellent team that's right there with me. We're going through bumps and bruises just to get acclimated because the Chiefs, has kind of just inserted itself, right? But that's okay. Those things are going to happen, and we're going to have other things that are going to insert themselves, within our day-to-day routine. But right now, we're just trying to find that routine and find that flow that we can keep the rhythm and momentum, because we are making strides. Our commission board is doing phenomenal. We are building relationships with the staff at UG, trying to get to understand how they do things and work in concert with them. But we're making beautiful music, and they're here and there where we're off tune, but we're making beautiful music, and I'm excited about that.
And I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
You've always been a really, really nice person. But it's one thing I forgot as we wrap up. We got to shout out hubby.
Yes, the man in my life. He's really the wind beneath my wings.
All right now.
Shout out to Mr. Watson.
It's been a pleasure having you. It was worth the wait.
Thank you.
We look forward to supporting you, and whenever you need to come on and get a message out, you can call me.
I appreciate that, and I just want to tell the listeners to keep us in your prayers. To God be the glory, because he gets all the praise for what's happening and what will happen to come for Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas.
All right. Our guest today was Mayor Christal Watson. She is the mayor of Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas, and we're so delighted to have had her on the program today. As always, I have the greatest viewing audience in the world. Till next time, remember, tough times don't last. Tough people do. Until next time, peace.